PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PACTV Community News. I'm Brian Sullivan.
And I'm Julie Thompson.
We have a great show for you tonight. We stop by Duxbury Senior Center as they celebrate our Cranberry Country heritage with a cooking demonstration, and we meet Megan Rapinoe, a professional soccer player at her youth soccer clinic held recently in Plymouth.
We learn more about the South Shore Foster Care Closet, a program helping foster families with clothing needs, and we hear more about the rededication of a Veterans Memorial here in North Plymouth.
PCN talks with Jonathan Beater of the Plymouth DPW as he discusses the Waterfront project ahead of the December 6th town meeting, and we have Dave Shea on the set to talk about financial planning.
We start our program in Pembroke, where the Chamber of Commerce recently acknowledged a local business. Earlier this month, the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce held its Business of the Year Gala. This year, Bridgewater Savings Bank was honored, and PCN was there to congratulate them and get you this story.
I'd like to introduce and congratulate our 2017 Business of the Year, Kelly Lay and Bridgewater Savings.
We're here tonight at the Pembroke Country Club with the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. We're here accepting the annual award for Business of the Year from the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. Obviously, we're very excited to receive that award. It's a great honor to receive it. We have one of our offices in Pembroke.
Over 8 years, we've done a number of these. The significance is it's the end of a year. We're celebrating another great year for the Chamber, and we're just trying to recognize one of our finest members. And Bridgewater Savings and Kelly Lay, you can't ask for better members and what they mean to the community. And that's really what the Chamber is all about, giving back to the community, and nobody says that better than Bridgewater Savings. When you get singled out and you know you have a number of great people and great businesses and great business owners in the Chamber, and you're singled out and recognized as being one of the best, you got to feel good about yourself. We all try to do the best we can every day.
We're honored to accept this award tonight. We have a great bank that cares very much about our employees, our customers, and the communities that we serve. Last year alone in Pembroke, Bridgewater Savings gave back $10,000 to the Pembroke community, and we want to make sure that the Pembroke area knows that we're here to be part of the community, give back to the community, and if there's requests or things out there, that Bridgewater Savings Bank may be able to help in that area.
The Duxbury Senior Center held a cranberry cooking demonstration with the help of Mix It Up Kitchen last month as part of its month-long Cranberry Festival. PCN was there and cooked up this story.
Hi, we're here today at the Duxbury Senior Center, and we're doing a demonstration lunch for the Cranberry Festival. We have a studio, beautiful studio kitchen, actually about not more than a mile away, and we started about a year and a half ago, March of 2016, where our focus is to offer cooking classes for kids and adults. No 2 days are really ever alike. We do a lot of community events, and we do everything from teaching people how to cook healthy meals to regional cuisines like Pan Asian, Indian. We do a lot of teach kids how to bake and cook, and it really encourages people to think outside the box and not beholden to takeout and to try new foods.
We have a lovely meal today, I think, on this very cold autumn day. We have a roast turkey, herb roasted turkey. We've boned and rolled and made it easy for cooking and for slicing. And then to go with that, we have a lovely acorn squash that we've roasted and we're mixing up with applesauce, which is something I had in my childhood, which I totally love. And to go with that, we have a lovely, very much a jeweled cranberry compote. It's got some nuts in it, it's got dried fruits, and it's a little bit tart from the cranberries, not so much from the vinegar. And we're going to mix that with our roast turkey, and I made a little tiny gravy from the cooking juices with some white wine and a little bit of bacon. Everybody loves bacon, so there's a little bit of bacon in there. We have some nice textures, nice flavors, and all embracing kind of the wonderful colors of the season as well. So it's going to be visually appealing on the plate as well as tasty to the taste buds. I mean, Julia Child said, your eyes lead you to food and your taste buds lead you back. So we need to make it visually appealing and then tasty as well. It's a joy. It's a joy to teach and to kind of shed new light on cooking and nutrition and health and wellness. And I do truly think anything that you make at home is going to be better for you than what you get outside the home. So if I can help people to cook more at home, that's wonderful.
The Rapinoe twins seem to have the sport of soccer in their blood. After each starring for the University of Portland in Oregon, these two West Coasters enjoyed time representing the U.S. national team. While one of the sisters still plays professionally, they each tour the country hosting soccer clinics for all ages. We spoke with Megan Rapinoe when one of their clinics recently passed through Plymouth.
I play professional soccer. A lot of people know that, but a lot of people don't know I'm a twin as well, and we grew up playing together, played through college together, and we kind of started this after college, and after a couple years I've been a professional soccer player. We wanted to find a way to give back and to continue to give back to the communities where we felt like we came from and hopefully take our brand elsewhere. So we've started, it's called Rapinoe Soccer Clinics. We put on these performance clinics for kids, so it's part soccer, but it's also the kind of performance side, which is a lot of injury prevention. So we do a power, speed, an explosive station, and we want them to, kind of gain skills that they can then take back into the teams that they play in and into kind of their normal life. So it's just sort of an all-around 3-hour jam-packed experience for them to be able to meet me, be able to train with our awesome trainers that we have here, and just hopefully have a great time. Our system is kind of a bunch of different stations. So we have shooting, passing, dribbling, all of those stations, and then we have strength, speed, and power on the performance side. So we try to give the kids sort of a holistic approach to what it means to be an athlete, but be a soccer player as well. And then my station, actually, I just sit down and talk with the kids and share my experience and share my journey with them and hopefully drop a little knowledge on them. Unfortunately, in my career, I've had a number of injuries, so I've come to know intimately how important it is, injury prevention and also rehab and prehab and all of that. So we try to give the kids a base just to be athletic in their lives and to do things properly, move their bodies properly, and to kind of be in control of their bodies. And I think especially for girls around the kind of high school age, you see a lot of knee injuries and a lot of other injuries as they kind of go through their puberty. So hopefully we can give them tools to take back into their club teams and into their high school teams so they can be as healthy as they can and be their best selves on the field. I think with the kids, honestly, I talk about my journey and what it means to be a professional athlete and what it's like to play at the highest level and kind of what it takes to play at the highest level. And I think a lot of things can translate, whether that's, getting amped up for a big game or preparing for a big game or how do I keep myself motivated. Those are all things that sort of translate to every level. How do I deal with coaches? How do I deal with, getting better? What things we need to work on? So I feel like I just try to take the experience that I had growing up playing youth soccer and making it to a very high level and try to, explain to them a little bit, at least my process, and maybe they can take something back from that.
Wow, so she covered everything. She covered the workouts themselves, the philosophy, the emotional part that goes into it, everything. And soccer is so popular now around here, boys and girls.
And I'm totally out of touch. It was funny because I didn't know who, and I don't know who any soccer, but I don't know who most athletes are. I'm that guy. But everybody there, they knew who these girls were. They know Megan and her sister. They're twin sisters, and they both played at that university. So everybody knows them, and these kids have so much energy, but I think they were pretty exhausted by the time this thing was all said and done.
Yeah, it looks like a great workout.
The South Shore Foster Care Closet is a network that provides foster kids with clothing ranging from infants to teenagers on the South Shore. One of those locations is just up the road from us here in Kingston at the home of a local resident, Sharon Collins. We met up with her to hear her story.
Most kids that come into foster care on an emergency basis, the police takes them in or the social worker takes them in from DCF, they come with only the clothes on their back, and those clothes on their back need to be thrown out. So basically they come to us with nothing. So in order to be able to provide them with a suitcase of clothes, whether they stay with us one night, a week, 6 months, or we adopt them in the end, they all need clothes. And DCF does provide a stipend, but the stipend doesn't happen until like 5 or 6 weeks into if you have the kid. And so you have to go out with your own money and buy clothes for this child, or he has to wear the ragged clothes that he came in. So this is a service that we provide. Foster parents, kinship parents, adoptive parents email us or phone us and tell us, okay, I need a size 6 in girls' clothes, or I need a winter jacket, or my child came with no shoes, or he came in bare feet, basically, and so can you provide us with these items? So within 24 to 48 hours, we get together a bag of clothes, a suitcase of clothes, the winter jacket, the winter boots, and we either bring them directly to the foster mom's house, or they come to us and pick them up. As a foster mom, you always keep extra clothes on hand. So I always had a bunch of clothes up in my attic, but then when people started giving me donations, I ran out of room in my attic. So I cleaned out my basement. I got rid of everything that was in my basement except my washing machine, and I filled it with clothes because I get almost daily donations of clothes. Usually my side steps will be filled with bags of clothes, baby items, shoes, winter jackets. We take donations from anywhere from infant to all the way up to teens. I just gave a pickup for boys that wore 34-30 jeans. So we go almost all the way up to 18 years old. And people can give me, drop it off at my house, either through contacting me through Facebook. We have our own Facebook page. I give out my phone number, and we also have an email.
This past Veterans Day, citizens of North Plymouth, local officials, the American Legion, and many others came together to rededicate a World War I memorial at the recently completed walking path that leads to Veterans Field. It was only fitting and proper that the completion of the project was a collaborative effort between the citizens, the town of Plymouth, and the Veterans Services. PCN was honored to attend the ribbon cutting and to bring you this story.
Cut the ribbon. Not from Charlie's.
This was a deplorable, abandoned piece of property that had become not only an eyesore, but a real health hazard. So we set about trying to get it remedied, couldn't, decided we would acquire it, tear it down, and turn it into a little park. As we started doing that, we realized that this piece of land extended further than we thought it did. It came right to the confines of Veterans Field, which has been here since 1925. And then the funding came from the Community Preservation Committee, which is a source of funding that our town has for historic and significant properties.
Town meeting voted to authorize $360,000 of CPA funding to demolish the old building and begin a planning process around the entrance. And it was the North Plymouth Steering Committee and a series of community meetings that led to this design. During those discussions, it was noted that Veterans Memorial Field had a monument, and the monument was up in the corner behind some obstruction there, and we thought it would be better to bring it down and put it in the center of the park by the new entrance. And that's when the Veterans Council became involved, and under the guidance of Richard Quintal, a former selectman here in Plymouth, who donated the sails to the monument and the flag, was an advocate of seeing the monument moved. They voted to move it. In that move, we had the stone cleaned and the bronze plate cleaned and fixed. The monument is now surrounded by hedge brick made here in Plymouth, Massachusetts, down on Hedge Road right here in North Plymouth. We reclaimed it from the 1820 courthouse when that building was demolished 2 years ago. This brick was reclaimed. The granite benches you see in the park are also part of that reclaimed effort over at the new town hall. There was a series of additions that were torn down. We reclaimed that material and placed it in this location. The Community Preservation Committee and the North Plymouth Steering Committee wanted to rededicate this on November 11th.
because it was significant. It was Armistice Day. It was the day in which World War I ended, or the Great War. And this monument reflected that history. And it was important to us that we involve the community on this day to honor that event.
I lost an uncle in the war, World War II, and I'm very close to the veterans. I think I was a service man myself, but the veterans, they're not a lot of them are overlooked. They're not appreciated. And a lot of my friends who were in Vietnam, they weren't appreciated. And this is something we can appreciate for what they did, and especially in North Plymouth, because I feel the North Plymouth is the new Plymouth.
After just about 3 years of work, the Water Street Promenade construction is nearly complete. All that's left now is the northern section. To secure the capital needed to complete this immense project, the town of Plymouth will be heading to a special town meeting on December 6th. We spoke with the town's Director of Public Works to find out what's at stake should they receive the funding.
The original request that went to the fall town meeting was $16.9 million. The new request that we've worked on, the estimate, is now $15.95 million. If we are successful at town meeting on December 6th, we will forward design. We have to go from 60 to 100%. We were looking to bid this project in early spring. We are still confident that we can have it done in the fall of 2019. This last segment of Water Street, which will connect from DCI bathrooms to the T-Wharf, will have a lot of great improvements that we need to put forward in terms of upgrading and addressing infrastructure issues. We have drainage repairs, we have ADA access repairs, lighting, stormwater compliance, and then the seawalls. A lot of work needs to happen on the seawalls. As you know, the flood elevation has changed, so these walls behind me, they will get reset and elevated to meet new FEMA flood elevations of 15. The section of Water Street behind me is at elevation 11. So again, there'll be proper flood protection and coastal resiliency. What we've been hearing on this past project is the people are enjoying the wider sidewalks, moving people safer, new crosswalks, a lot of much more decorative elements. We are following the master plan, but at the same time, we're going to bring forward some infrastructures upgrades that are necessary at this time. The overall goal is to address infrastructure issues. We have a lot of pieces that are broken and they need to be fixed. But at the same time, it's the final link. In terms of Water Street, it's the last project. You know, we're almost there. We want to see this through. In terms of connecting to the boardwalk, the T-Wharf, we want to be able to move people. We want to have our visitors, our tourists, our people that live in Plymouth to be able to stay in the waterfront and enjoy it longer. We want to have more connections to the downtown to promote business. We want to increase development and new construction in the area. And we think this project will help with that. We would incorporate a lot of the elements, as in with the past project, the decorative granite, the bricks, the hardscapes, the exposed aggregate sidewalks, the bollards with the chains, the decorative lighting. We really want to showcase the area. We want people to enjoy. We want it to be durable in terms of the product design and how long these things last. We want this stuff to last for at least 50 years. We want to get that longevity. We want to get the biggest bang for the buck out here.
We are so pleased to have on set today Dave Shea for a special segment. Now, Dave, who was the voice of the Bruins along with other people for 24 years, is now a financial service professional, and you work for Doyle and Minsky Financial.
I do.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about retirement planning, something that everyone should be thinking about no matter how old you are. Where does a person begin to build their retirement nest egg?
Well, ideally, Julie, you want to start as early as possible. I mean in your 20s, if at all possible. Of course, the baby boomers will tell you they weren't born in the 20s, and now here they are in their 60s, and they haven't done a great job. But ideally, start early with a methodical contribution into something. No matter how insignificant you think the amount is, because of the compounding of interest over 30, 40 years, that little amount each week is going to build into a significant amount for retirement.
Right. So you're talking about like a 401k plan with your work that's matched, which is a huge benefit.
That's the place to start.
Right.
You know, and the young people especially should know when they get to a company that offers a 401k, participate.
Right.
And if you can afford to, And think about separating what you can do with what you'd like to do.
Right.
You should at least contribute as much as the company matches, if the company is putting a match in, because
Right.
that's 100% return on
Right.
your money.
It's free money.
Before it even hits the market.
Right, right.
Now, there are other places, too, where you can go.
Okay.
You know, aside from a 401k, you can contribute to a traditional IRA. Depending on your income, you could contribute to a Roth IRA, which has great tax advantages down the road. You could invest in standalone mutual funds or stocks and bonds. You could even invest in life insurance.
Life insurance for retirement?
Yeah, well,
I thought life insurance for when you died.
Yeah, that's the basic benefit. You die and a beneficiary
Get
receives.
your money.
Sure.
Yeah. So what is this?
Well, there are living benefits to certain kinds of insurance. Now, let's start with the basic premise. There are two kinds, basically, of life insurance.
Yeah.
There's term insurance,
Right.
which just about everybody knows and
Yep.
many people own.
It's good.
There's
It's good
permanent
for a
life
certain
insurance.
term.
Exactly.
That's the name.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the whole idea behind it. It's good to protect you and your family or your business
Yep.
for a term of time.
Right.
And the premium is usually a lot less than permanent insurance.
Right.
Of course, over time, there'll come a point where that premium will start to get higher and higher
Yeah.
and higher.
Right.
And eventually, it gets so high that people say, I'm not going to write the check anymore
Right, I'm
for
not gonna-
that.
yeah.
And so they drop the coverage. And that usually comes at a time when they're in their 60s or
Right.
70s, getting closer to a
Yeah.
time when they would like to have the death benefit there.
Yeah, but now they don't because it was a term policy that they bought.
Sure.
So they should have bought whole life or permanent life insurance.
Yeah, and let me try to compare term versus permanent to, say, renting a house or buying a house. Okay? We rent the house. Why? Ideally, we'd like to own the house.
Right.
But if we can't afford to own the house, we rent until we can.
Right.
The premium or the rent is going to be lower, and we've got a key to the front door, roof over our head, all is good.
Right.
Eventually, the rent will go up, and we'll probably have to move. Permanent life insurance has a higher premium,
Right.
as does the mortgage payment on buying a house, but you're building equity all the time you're paying those premiums. And over time, you will build up cash value in these policies that can be used while you're still alive.
Right. And a lot of people don't know that you can use your permanent life insurance as a asset in your retirement plan.
Absolutely. The thing about the cash value in a permanent life insurance policy is it's like your own personal bank. Once you've started to accumulate it, you can dip into it and either withdraw or, more effectively, take loans.
Against
which
it.
you could put back in again.
Yep.
So if you needed to pull money out to help with college, you could do that. If you needed to pull money out to put a down payment on a home, you could
can
do
do
that.
that, yeah.
Or to help your business. And the money that grows in these policies grows tax deferred.
Right.
So it gives you some tax diversification in your portfolio, especially if other assets are going to be fully taxable all the time.
Right, right. And this is why you need a financial planner that can really put your pieces of the pie together for you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone is different. But
Yeah.
it certainly helps to know how each asset class
Works,
fits.
right.
And when we go back to 2008, when we had the major crash,
Yeah.
a lot of advisors realized that permanent life insurance really is an asset class in and of itself because of the tax advantages
And
it has.
so few people even consider that as
Sure.
an asset. It's just like, oh yeah, when I die, my kids will get some money.
Sure.
They don't think of it as part of their portfolio.
And the death benefit is tax-free to the beneficiary.
For life insurance.
Yeah, whereas other assets may be taxable to those beneficiaries.
Right. So is taxes, is that the biggest variable that you should consider in retirement?
Well, maybe not the primary, but let's take a look at where we're at right now. Historically speaking,
Yeah.
we're in a low income tax environment. So going forward, it doesn't feel that way in April, does it?
No.
But we are. If you go back to 79 and 80, the
Oh, yeah,
top
they were,
marginal
yeah.
tax bracket
It
was
was way-
70%
yeah, it was crazy.
in those years.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So if you're looking down the road to when you might retire, and income taxes in all likelihood will bump up, at
Yeah.
least we might think it will.
Right.
And you're sitting there with 401k money or IRA money that's fully taxable.
Right.
Well, you just went from thinking you're paying X amount of tax
to
Y amount of
Yeah,
tax.
right, right.
And that'll have a definite impact
Right.
on how long your money lasts.
So again, another reason why your whole portfolio of retirement needs to be considered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I don't do tax or legal advice, Julie, but
That's
it
almost
just
common
stands to
sense.
reason.
Right.
You need to keep one eye on how each of your assets in the
Right.
portfolio are going to be taxed when you go to use them.
Right. And in our last 2 minutes, a subject that I find so many people don't really understand is that's the whole extended or long-term health care for people in retirement. How do you fend off against that? And right now, what do people know? What don't they know?
They don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
Is really what it amounts to. The time to start thinking about your health in retirement is before you get to retirement.
Right.
You should be asking questions like, is there a medical history in the family that might impact me in retirement?
Right.
If it did, where would I turn to get the care I need?
Right.
And where would I get the money to pay for it? Once you have those answers, then you can start maybe segregating part of your portfolio and say, all right, this money is earmarked and that'll take care of any extended care needs
health.
I have in retirement.
Because there's a misconception that Medicare and Medicaid will end up just paying for everything. And they don't.
We
Because
kind of treat that the way people treat all copiers or a Xerox machine.
Right,
Well,
right.
we've heard Medicare, and Medicare will take care of everything.
yeah, which is not true.
We've paid into Medicare
Yeah.
over the years, so we're entitled to that benefit. But the benefit is only for skilled nursing care.
Right. It's not so
And that's only for 100
days, right.
A little over 3 months.
Right.
People say, well, then Medicaid will take over. No, you have to qualify for Medicaid, and in order to qualify for Medicaid, you basically have to spend down everything you have
right.
before Medicaid will step
Right.
in and help out.
Right. So anything you've built in your whole life is gone. And
Well,
then you might
conceivably
qualify.
could be.
Yeah.
And here's where the big concern is. If you're married and your spouse doesn't need care, but you do, you could wipe out most of the retirement nest egg,
Right.
and the spouse could live another 10, 15,
15,
20
20
more
years.
years.
Right, right.
And
Okay.
what is he or she going to do?
Okay, so again, the whole idea is we got to plan. We got to plan.
I'll say this, and I'll leave you with this thought.
Okay.
People are not required to have life insurance or extended care coverage.
Right.
Just like people aren't required to wear oven mitts when they take a pan out of the oven, but they do.
Right.
And the reason they do is they know there's going to be pain if they don't.
Right.
Problem is, most people don't know the pain that will be inflicted if they don't have something in place to take care of any kind of care or death in retirement.
Okay, great advice.
My
awesome.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Julie.
We thank you. And thank you for watching. If you want to see the show again, you can check out our website, and PCN is also on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook to get up-to-date info. We will see you next week.